Hello, friends. Welcome to the third video and third talk on the series of Are You Aware? It is an initiative of the Bombay Chartered Accountants Society's International Tax Committee to highlight and to take up topics where where participants or where the listeners may not be aware of the nuances which are there as far as practice of international tax and FEMA goes. And today we have a special session. The specialty is that we have none other than Shri Dilip J. Thakkar with us. And he will be in conversation with me, CA Rutvik Sangvi here. I am co-chairman of the International Tax Committee of the Bombay Chartered Accountants Society. While Sri Dilip J. Thakkar is colloquially known as the father of FEMA in India. The reason being that Sir has a vast experience dealing with foreign exchange regulations. He has completed 63 years in practice. He has seen the days of FERA, he has seen the days of FEMA, and he is still as much in touch as he would have been, at the start of his practice. He is thorough on all his provisions. He is an encyclopedia, a walking, talking encyclopedia on FEMA. But more importantly, he has been the past president of Bombay Chartered Accountants Society, and as is known for Bombay Chartered Accountants Society, he keeps sharing his knowledge with everyone. To that end, today he has promptly accepted our invite to come and talk on this forum. He has also expressed his desire to share his experiences with all of us. So, without further ado, welcome, sir. Welcome to this podcast, and we are looking forward to hearing from you. So, as I mentioned to everyone here, that it has been 60 plus years in practice, and I believe the majority of it was with dealing with foreign exchange regulations.
Yeah,
Right, sir. So, what inspired you to start this practice? I'm sure many of the youngsters who are listening to this will be very excited to understand that what has inspired you not only to start it and also to continue this practice. So, we would love to hear that from you, sir.
you're right, Rutvik. I believe some of the youngsters were not even born when I started this practice.
Very true, sir.
Yeah, it was 1973 amendment to the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act,
Okay,
which triggered the whole thing in my professional life.
correct.
Three instances, Rutvik. One
Right, sir.
was that when that 1973 amendment came, a lot of things were to be done by NRI investors in India. The
Right.
Bombay Chartered Account Society organized a lecture by the then Deputy Director of Enforcement, Mr. Swaminathan, who was
Okay.
a CA,
Oh,
but thinking that the topic may not attract the general membership, it was fixed only for managing committee members, past presidents, and a few invitees.
correct.
I being a managing committee member, was present there, sitting
Right.
in the last bench as usual. When Mr. Swaminathan mentioned, almost blamed, okay, you chartered accountants don't take any interest in this subject of foreign exchange law, which is a
Mhm.
shame. And my friends who were
Oh.
sitting with me sort of ignited me that Dilip, this is a challenge to see a profession, you must do something.
Mm.
And in that young blood days, I promised that within 1 year from now, I will
Ah,
give a public speech on this subject, which
wow.
I did in December 1974.
Wow.
But Rutvik, over and above that, there
Right.
was a different trigger point.
Mhm.
1973 amendment required all non-resident Indians who had invested in immovable properties in India
Hmm.
to apply to Reserve Bank to get a holding license.
Wow.
So that generated a lot of work.
Correct.
My firm or myself had no such work,
Mhm.
though the trigger point is my elder sister is married in an NRI family and my wife comes from NRI family. So to
Very
preserve my
personal.
abru, I had to study this.
Very personal queries.
Yeah,
Correct.
very personal, but that triggered. But I
Right.
must take you to a little background.
Sure, sir.
Before that, foreign exchange law was the preserve of law firms,
Hmm.
solicitors, and lawyers. I
Right.
distinctly remember to have gone in conference for a very few matters I had to two senior solicitors and two lawyers,
Okay.
and took opinions from them, attended Reserve Bank and ED along with them. Now, I am a little happy to say that
Mhm.
they are my clients. No jokes, I will not mention the name. One of the senior solicitor is still around, but
Okay.
he respects me as I respect him. I respect him as my guru, but
Right.
he has equal respect for me.
Wow.
Surprisingly, one of the days before COVID, he came in conference to my office
Okay.
for a client office. And when I said, "Sir, you can't do this, I will come to you," he said, "No,
Uh-huh.
solicitors always go to the council."
Wow. Wow. This is amazing, sir.
It
This
is
is
it is
amazing.
the professional etiquette that they have.
Correct.
Now, Rutvik, what happened was, uh, it's Diwali 1973. I was in no, yeah, I was on a Diwali holiday with my family and took
Right.
with me the bare act of Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, only 6 rupees affordable. When I read that, I realized that my sister's family and my wife's family will have immense uh, influence on this amendment. So I
Oh,
went to the market, bought some carbon paper and foolscap paper and a ball pen, prepared note and given to them. And
okay.
ever since then, I have not looked back.
Wow.
So
Wow.
this was the events that prompted me to get into
True.
FEMA.
Right, sir. Sir, this was, if I understood correctly, sir, your practice started even before FERA Act came into play. And you
No,
would have,
before FEMA came. FERA is there since 1947.
sorry, correct,
Yeah,
correct. So
this is
1973
73.
onwards,
Yeah,
1973 onwards, you
yeah,
started.
yeah.
So, sir, can you give us some idea about, what was the environment, before, after, and now what do you feel? Has the environment kind of progressed?
It has changed considerably. Ritvik, you see
Yeah.
what happened was that
Hmm.
time it was only filling up forms
Okay.
for declaring the immovable properties held by NRIs in India and get a holding license. It was a very straightforward thing.
Acha. Hmm.
And the officers at the Reserve Bank were very helpful. Believe me, extremely helpful.
Wow.
Otherwise, I would not have learned because it was a blank uh, plate for me. But
Correct.
they sort of helped me to graduate in that field.
Hmm.
And without any expectation of anything, even I could not give them a gift on a Diwali. They will not
Oh,
accept it. Yes.
wow.
Very
Wow.
clean environment. And then other things happened. Then there was something like legacy. Suppose a
Hmm.
resident Indian dies and puts in his will legacy for a non-resident relative.
Right.
I didn't know what to be done, but then there was a form called LEG, legacy,
Wow.
and we had to take permission of Reserve Bank.
Oh,
Rutvik, you may not be knowing, but in those days, when a non-resident under FERA came
right.
back to India and became resident,
Right.
within 90 days, he had to declare his foreign assets and take permission to continue to hold them. Reserve
Right.
Bank in 80-90% said no.
Wow.
Others they said yes.
Right.
This is what we have undergone.
Right, sir. In fact, if you permit me, I think 1992, when the circulars came,
Yes,
liberalized that holding,
correct, correct.
I recollect that they had mentioned that if you have a trust structure, you have to dissolve all of
Yeah,
those, you have to
yeah,
give back everything.
correct.
It was quite stringent, if
Very
I
strange.
recollect. Sir, if you can give an example of how people used to travel at that time, I'm sure all
Yeah, yeah,
listeners
that
will
is a
really.
fascinating story. You see, I blame the government to have created this unaccounted wealth outside India. I'll tell you what.
Oh, okay.
In those days, for travel abroad, we had to take permission of the Reserve Bank, give reasons. If
Right.
we said that I need to go for 5 days, they will give permission for 3 days.
Wow.
For holiday travel, there was a scheme whereby you can take an excursion ticket on Air India only for 4 months and a sumptuous allowance of $500.
Wow.
Now, what will one do but to arrange otherwise? Because in 4 months, $500, of course, that time dollar went longer than today, but
True.
maximum 2-3 weeks, 4 months.
Wow.
And in that way came the numbered accounts of Swiss banks.
Okay.
Believe me, I blame government that you encourage them to open those numbered accounts because secrecy was important.
True.
Here, the tax laws were so stringent. At one time, Mr. Palkewala said 98% of your income went into tax, plus
True.
exchange control regulations. So even if you have $10, you would like to preserve it and keep it outside.
Obviously.
That's how the number accounts came into play. So
You're right.
it was liberalized only in 1991 by Dr. Manmohan Singh, the then Finance Minister of India, who
Correct.
said that now the time has come to liberalize. He took a gamble, but it succeeded.
Nice.
Yeah, it did
Correct.
succeed, yes.
So, sir, if you would say that, if you can throw some light on, what would you feel are the significant change according to you, which FEMA brought in 1999?
Yeah.
I believe the liberalization started from 91 onwards, but
Correct.
I think 1999 they said let's do away with this,
Yeah.
FERA itself because it was
Yeah.
considered to be very draconian. So, what would you feel is the major change under FEMA?
You see, Rutvik,
Yeah.
for the first time, certain terms were defined properly in FEMA, which were not there in FERA. FERA was very vague.
Oh, okay.
Of course, one bad thing about both the laws is continuing is no limitation period under FERA, and even now there is no limitation, which is draconian. You see,
Actually,
in no civil society that can happen.
true.
Secondly, for everything, one had to go to Reserve Bank for permission and
Okay.
wait indefinitely.
Wow.
Now, what FEMA has made the changes defined capital account and current account transactions, and eventually made current account transactions almost free of all controls.
Right. Correct.
So
Correct.
that has made life easy for the trade and business.
True.
In those days, Rutvik, only big houses like Tatas and Birlas could think of foreign collaboration or foreign investment.
Wow.
Common man could not even think of it.
Oh,
Our reserves, foreign exchange reserves, are also so down.
true. True.
But then the Reserve Bank had appointed during FERA days a committee called Tarapur Committee
Okay.
to lay down a roadmap to full convertibility of the rupee. Believe
True.
me, Mr. The Tarapur Committee was the only committee, in my view, which never asked for extension. It gave its report within 3 months allotted. And
Oh,
BCA had a good fortune to go and give evidence.
wow.
Me, Rashwin Bhai, and some few
Great.
went to that.
Okay.
Mr. Tarapur told us that we have 20 minutes. We too led the discussion, and as it crossed 19 minutes, I said, "Sir, may I stop?" He got so much interested in the views expressed that he
Wow.
told his secretary to cancel all other meetings and gave us almost up to 45 minutes.
Wow.
And
Wow.
Rutvik, BCA's contribution is recorded in his printed report.
Excellent.
Yeah.
No, that's a pride of place for all of us that,
But unfortunately, the
Hmm.
parameters laid down by him for full convertibility,
Correct.
all parameters have been crossed several times over, but today also we have no full convertibility. I
Definitely.
remember a few months back, one of the deputy governors of Reserve Bank has gone on press record. It has printed in the newspaper
Right.
to tell the banks to be ready for full convertibility. I think that was the first and last he mentioned about it. He must have forgotten. It has gone into cold storage.
Very true.
Because Rutik, me and Rashwin Bhai several times said in public platform
Okay.
that like UK and Singapore,
Right.
India will prosper much more as a financial center if foreign exchange regulations are scrapped. And we
Very
have examples of UK. I remember in those days when I used to travel, you cannot enter UK with more than 50 pounds. And you cannot leave UK with more than 50 pounds.
Wow.
Mrs. Thatcher completely removed it overnight. Today it was there, tomorrow morning it was not there. Similarly, Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore, he also removed, and see where they are today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
all starting from same roots, but
Yeah,
at the distance
exactly.
they've reached.
Correct.
Very true.
You see, this was brought into India to fight, to preserve foreign exchange reserves at the time of World War. But we
Very
are
true.
far, far from the World War.
I agree.
More than 75 years of independence and republic.
True, sir. And with
Yeah.
such a huge amount of reserves, we
Exactly,
still have concerns.
630 billion plus.
Very true. And
Hmm.
still, there are so many concerns around how
Yeah.
much we allow. Sir, do you feel personally that the kind of, I would put it this way, the attitude of
Yeah.
the people at the helm or people who are managing these, RBI officers and whoever is the decision makers, has that attitude completely changed, or do you feel that no, there is, probably something more to be desired from what is, from whatever you have seen till today? So,
Rutvik, it changed and now it has rechanged.
oh,
I'll put
that's
it
very
this way.
interesting.
I'll
Ah,
put it
please.
this way.
Hmm.
February 2004, the then governor of Reserve Bank said that the name of the law is changed from regulation to management. So
Very
now
true.
I am giving to the people of India 25,000 US dollars to manage. We will not ask any questions. That was the
True.
birth of LRS.
Exactly.
It
Right, sir.
increased from 25 to $50,000 to 100,000, 125, went back to 75,000, and today we are at 250. We have
True.
been advocating, please increase it to 1 million to be in line with the NRO quota.
Correct.
Let it be same for residents, but
True. True.
none.
So today morning I have had a query that, oh, is LRS and $1 million scheme? I think I will have a TCS on LRS. So unfortunately, that confusion still exists
Yeah,
even
it
today.
still exists.
Yes,
But you
very
see,
true.
I distinctly remember in 2015
Mhm.
February in the monetary committee meeting, the then governor of Reserve Bank said, it is in printed record that we have decided, we
Okay.
means Reserve Bank, to
Right.
increase the quota of LRS from 75 from 1,25,000 to 250. Now
Correct.
this was 15th of February 2015.
Very true.
There were 1.5 months left for those who had already remitted 125. So they
Mhm.
started remitting 125 again. The
Right.
circular giving effect to this came in May 2015. And the ED started telling those people, including the banks, okay, why did you allow this 125?
Wow.
I have fought in writing saying that, do I believe my governor of Reserve Bank or that lazy clerk who delayed issuing the circular? And
Very
and the governor did not say we are thinking. He said we have decided. And
wow.
believe me, we all won.
Oh,
ED had to
amazing.
drop because even Bank of India and several banks were involved. They were
Ah,
told, okay, why did you allow this? Because circular came much later. I
true.
had,
But
I
procedure
had,
cannot beat the
yeah,
intent.
I
Yes.
had preserved that printed copy of the Monetary Policies Committee
Wow.
meeting minutes, which helped. So this is when I say it changed. It
Yes.
came up to now. Come August 22, and liberalized remittance scheme has become liberalized. See, two things they have not even thought of.
Okay.
They say that if you send money under liberalized scheme after that date, 24th of August 22, you must invest within 180 days or spend it or bring it back.
Correct.
Now, first of all, overseas banks have a certain minimum criteria.
Very
Now,
true.
if you put the money in your overseas bank account and invest, the money goes out of the bank. Bank will say, close your account and go away.
Go away.
This
Correct.
is not what they have thought. Now, to overcome that, we suggested put it in the fixed deposit with the same bank,
Okay.
right? Many banks said fixed deposit also is a bank account. So we asked Reserve Bank to clarify.
Right.
This dialogue started from February 2023
Right, sir.
onwards.
Right.
In 6th April 2023, Reserve Bank has come out with a 2-page FAQ only on LRS. And there
Right.
is no mention of fixed deposit not being allowed.
Even after us representing,
Yeah,
even after us
yeah.
demanding,
No,
they
there is
did not
no such negative. So we are still doing it, and Reserve Bank is not objecting.
come.
But somebody mentioned
Yes.
uh, that the Reserve Bank, some officers are of the view it is not allowed. I said, please request them, put it in writing.
Correct. Put it
Put
in
it in
writing.
black and white, we'll stop from tomorrow. None
Perfect.
of them has courage to do that
Wow.
till today. See?
True.
So
No,
this
sir.
is where, this is what pinches.
I agree with sir.
Mm.
No, sir, many thanks. This has given an excellent insight into the liberalized remittance scheme. I'm sure
Yeah,
many listeners who are just reading the law today or
correct,
current scheme would have not realized the background behind it.
correct. And you
And
see,
yes,
after that August 22 circular, Times of India printed on the editorial page an article. I forget the name of the author. The heading was Unliberalized Remittance Scheme. Believe me, what is it today with 630 billion of your reserves? Why are you harassing your citizens like this?
very
They
true, sir.
increase from 250 to at least a million.
Agreed. Sir, you're right, sir. In fact, I think if I recollect correctly, I've understood that earlier. In fact, during those FERA days, you had to have exchange control
Yeah,
manuals, which they
correct.
would not share with
No, it was not
public.
available to us. It was
So then
known
how
as a
would you practice in those times?
no,
I would,
it was known as a black book.
wow.
But we had many friends in banks, so we would go there and read it. Later, it became a green book, and that was available for a price.
Oh,
But Rutik, one thing I forgot to
okay.
mention. Yeah, yeah, it was. We had to purchase all those circulars, and every alternate day I used to send my man to the selling counter at Amar Building to
Wow.
purchase. Yes,
Oh.
now it is online. But Rutik, I forgot to mention one thing.
Sure, sir. Please, sir.
Me and Rashmin Bhai, I was not going to mention names, but two, three names I must mention because otherwise I'll be doing a lot of injustice. We both decided, in fact, Rashmin Bhai initiated that let us propagate this knowledge of FERA.
Right.
So we conducted under the aegis of Bombay Charter Society uh, those classes for,
Okay.
uh, they were known as, I forget the name, but
Oh,
for the first session,
right.
we had 40 members
Okay.
and the faculty was impossible to find. Out of 10, 8 were lawyers and
Oh.
two were chartered accountants, Rashwin Sanghvi and Dilip Thakkar.
Right, sir.
When those classes were announced, one evening, a young man came to my office.
Okay.
And anybody who enters my office has to fill up a visitor slip, name,
Right.
whom to meet, and the purpose. He wrote
Right.
Hitesh Gajaria to meet Dilip Bhai,
Okay.
purpose education.
Wow.
And believe me, that impressed me so much. I called him immediately. He
Right.
said, Sir, I'm in a sole proprietary CA practice. I
Right.
don't have any non-resident client. I don't expect to have, but I want to learn. And I said, come along. Now, you know, Hitesh, where he
Yes.
has reached.
Yes. Yes.
In his speeches that he has given several times, in one of the speeches, he said, before I met Dilip Bhai, I used to see international airport from this side when I used to go to leave somebody or receive somebody. Now I see it from the other side many more times.
Wow. Wow.
What greater credit can there be for a
Right.
person who was a sole proprietor,
True.
reach KPMG?
Correct. Very true, sir.
And
In fact,
third
sir,
name,
yes.
yeah,
Sorry,
and
please, sir. Continue.
third name I must mention is Dr. C.A. Mayur Nayak.
Oh,
He
okay.
was the one who initiated ITF RRC with
Okay.
a lot of resistance from elders in the profession, because
Oh,
at that time, even to introduce one paper or one subject in an RRC or a conference on FEMA or FERA was very difficult. But we could
wow.
maneuver that. Now there are conferences full on that subject. All RRCs, ITF is still
Multiple, sir.
continuing.
Multiple conferences.
Yeah,
Multiple conferences on the
multiple.
same subject, and
And
everyone goes houseful. Yes.
every association, CTC, Bombay Charter Society, many others are conflicting with each
True.
other to organize courses on DTA, where we have
Correct.
not even heard about this. So
Very true, sir.
Mayur was the pioneer on this. Of
Wow.
course, we supported him. And
Yes,
in
yes.
those days, Rutvik, I have faced this. Many elders in the profession said, "Ke ye kya hai? Our people have to be practicing in auditing and domestic
Correct.
taxation."
Correct.
Dilip, wants to go abroad, so he's propagating this, because I used to
Ah,
say this is a subject of the future, but it has become subject of the present. The
right.
prestige, the prestige and respect you get from your clients if you practice FEMA is much more than you practice auditing or domestic taxation. And now you must have seen that there are at least more than 100 CAs in Mumbai who are practicing this. Some of them authored books on this.
Yes,
And
very true, sir.
now I'm not taking pride, but now law firms and lawyers are my clients. Same with, must be experience of yours,
Yes,
because
yes,
they
sir.
have realized that we have taken away this subject underneath that feet. Yeah. And to
Sir,
give a new subject altogether to my profession, what
yeah,
more can you do in your lifetime? Yeah.
definitely, sir.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yes, yes. The lives
Yeah.
have changed for many.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
more importantly, sir, I feel that foreign exchange is touching so many lives,
Exactly.
right? And if there is not proper guidance, which we are
Correct.
seeing even
Correct.
today, that when
Correct.
there is no proper guidance, people unnecessarily end up
Yeah.
violating the law without
Correct.
zero intent to do so.
Correct. Correct.
So I think your guidance, your love for the subject and the love for sharing that
Exactly.
content,
You
I
see,
think
because sharing of knowledge is the motto me and Rashmin Bhai has given to the people, because we believed that sharing knowledge is the most pious activity of human beings.
true,
And
sir.
we have gained, in fact, some of my relatives said, why are you giving knowledge free of charge? Charge for them. I said,
Wow.
this is not a commodity for which one charges.
True, true.
And it has helped both of us. Yeah.
I believe so, sir.
Yeah.
And friends, I don't know how many of you are aware, but today I think credit has to be given to Shri Dilip Bhai J. Thakkar and others in the profession, the names he has mentioned, a few of them, and also Bombay Chartered Accountants Society for laying that platform, laying
Yeah.
the stage for future professionals to have that courage to take up that topic.
Correct.
Today, as he mentioned, there are hundreds of chartered accountants and professionals who are practicing in this area. So many
Yes.
thanks
Yes.
to you, sir, that
Yeah.
to set the ball rolling.
And Rutvik, to the extent that some of them have given up tax practice, they are concentrating, and I can give names, but not fair on this platform to
No,
say
no,
that.
sir.
But you know who they are. They
True, true.
don't go to the income tax, but they practice in a very big way on
Very true,
FEMA.
sir.
Yeah.
Right, sir. So, thank you, sir. Sir, if you don't mind, I think we have discussed about the regulators and what they have been doing.
Correct. Correct.
The flip side of that is also the enforcement of the law.
Yes.
And
Yes.
today we have a situation where regulator is one agency and the enforcement is by another agency, particularly under FEMA, we have the
Right.
Directorate of Enforcement. Sir, do you feel that there has been, there has been a change over the time period when in from your practice of how the enforcement has happened of the law, and whether recently do you feel that there is scope for improvement? I would
Yeah.
like to hear your.
Rutvik, two things have happened.
Sure, sir.
For administration, also, there is a split of powers.
Yes, you're right, sir.
Partly government has taken over. And
Right.
that, because that is sitting in Delhi, so
Yes.
that causes delays. I
True.
believe everything should be given to Reserve Bank only, because it's a good administrative platform.
Perfect. Right, sir.
About enforcement, I must say two things. One is, this is the only law which I know, okay, after a matter is over, there is no order passed
Ah,
unless, okay, there is a penalty to be imposed. While
true,
like income tax, they cannot give an order giving a clean sheet. For
true.
example, Ritvik, when an investigation is started under FEMA by ED and
Right.
they don't give a green sheet, there are many laws under which you have to say, are you under investigation in FEMA? Issue of passport, company law, many laws require that.
Yes,
Why can't they give an order?
very
I
true, sir.
think the law should be amended to make it mandatory for them to give an order and within a time frame. That is one thing. And
Correct.
secondly, a limitation period must be brought out. Because today, thanks to FEMA, when it was brought on 1st of June 2000, there was a 2-year sunset period.
Very true.
Any offense under FERA cannot be continued to be on 2. But there is a catch.
Okay.
If that offense continues under FEMA, then
Then
it is still an open book. Then they can
there
go
is no
back.
limitation.
This is very harming to the country like India.
Very true.
It is a shame on Republic.
In fact,
There
sir,
has
I
to.
believe that there are, non-residents who wish to do much more.
Yes, exactly.
But they
Yeah.
are scared of this, that there
Correct.
is no, how can there be no limitation at all? Meaning you
Correct.
tell us that, okay, fine, I did something, fine,
Yeah.
I will pay the penalty, but you cannot go back 10 years, 15
Yeah.
years back and then
Who
tell
has the records?
who has the records
Yeah.
exactly.
And to give an example, in Income Tax Act, there
Correct.
was a section called 149(1)(c), which
Correct.
said that if a resident had foreign assets which are undeclared or undisclosed, they can reopen 16 years.
Yes.
It met with so much of litigation that the present government, instead of uh, amending it retrospectively like previous government, they deleted it.
They have
That's the
deleted.
most sensible thing they've done.
Yes.
And
Yes.
our present Prime Minister, on the day he came in powers, he has made a press statement which I have preserved. This
Okay.
government will not bring any retrospective amendment to the law.
Wow.
This is a great service to the country.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. True,
Why?
sir.
Yeah.
Sir, we had understood and we had, when, I have not not practiced in FERA, but we had understood that it was very draconian because of the enforcement powers
Correct.
which were there.
Correct.
Then FEMA came, we had understood that lot of those offenses were
Correct.
decriminalized.
Correct.
Therefore, you
Correct.
had a breathing space,
Yeah.
you may get some penalty, but that
Correct.
was the end of the matter.
Correct.
Do you feel today that that situation has improved, or do you feel that that has some scope of improvement?
I feel very sad to say this,
Okay.
that the situation has worsened.
Worsened.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
You see, now two things. If
Right,
a
sir.
matter is under investigation by ED, you cannot go for compounding. This
True.
continued for quite some time. Now
Right.
the Reserve Bank has realized that small matters are going to ED because they don't have powers to enforce. So now
Correct.
they have come to this, that with getting a NOC from ED, the matter can come back to compounding and the matter can be resolved. I
Right.
think there should be a certain limit, monetary limit or something, which cannot go to enforcement. It should be resolved at the Reserve Bank stage only, because
Very true.
common men should not be affected by such draconian laws. And
Yes.
ED, unlike Reserve Bank, there is some different methods which are being used, which none of us like it.
I understand, sir.
Yeah.
Correct, sir. I think so. Point well taken, sir. Your point is that probably that a situation should be streamlined. Situation should be such that today common people don't have to face this direct
Exactly.
enforcement.
Because you see, the litigation cost becomes very expensive, and
Correct, sir.
people who practice FEMA are not less expensive. They are charging a bomb. Now, two things I would like institutions like BCA to take up:
Right, sir.
to bring amendment or suggest amendment that there should be a limitation period in FERA,
True,
and
sir.
a mandatory provision for ED to pass orders while concluding the matter.
Great, sir.
Yeah.
I think these are actually, frankly, principles of natural justice in our.
Exactly. We are not asking for some favor.
We are not
It
asking,
is
actually.
there in every other law, including
Exactly.
criminal law. Yeah.
Very true. It's only that nobody has fought up to Supreme Court level on
Exactly.
principles to get
Correct.
something written done by the Supreme Court. But why should they? They should better the
And the
law.
reason is very simple, Ritvik,
Yes,
because now the subject is with chartered accountants.
sir.
And we
Right.
probably stop at the tribunal stage and we don't go beyond. We
Don't go
don't like going to courts.
True,
If it
true.
had remained with lawyers, somebody would have gone there.
I
But
agree.
anyway, we can take help of some good lawyer to take it forward.
Yes.
Or else
Fully.
some parliamentarian to introduce that amendment into the act.
Yes, yes. Sir, coming back to the liberalization, the
Yeah.
reform that have happened, do you feel there is any one important liberalization which you feel has been good and probably, or you feel that no, there is, something else which should be there? Any view which you would have over the years that some liberalization reforms?
You see, the best thing is separating current account and capital account transactions.
Right.
Because you see, we accountants have a different meaning of current account and capital account. So we have to impress upon clients that even if you import machinery for your business, it is a current account.
It's a current account.
It is though a capital expenditure, but
True.
current account. That
Very
is a very good thing they have done.
excellent.
And secondly, this liberalized remittance scheme should be given a second thought of really liberalizing it.
Very true.
Yeah,
Understood.
because 630 billion reserves is not going to create a dent,
Yes.
because people are sending their tax money outside. Why
Correct.
not?
In fact, in our conferences with Bombay Chartered Society, where we have had you also present,
Yeah,
and loyal as the RBI managers, you have understood that from it was a no questions asked policy,
yeah,
and liberalized remittance scheme in that sense was kind of a partial capital account
yeah,
convertibility
correct.
that you could up
Yeah,
to that limit you can go ahead
exactly.
and do what you wish. Today, I think that is a situation has
Yeah,
probably slightly gone
because
back.
the people have changed.
Yeah,
Now, another thing, Rutvik, I must say,
sure, sir.
till 2017,
Right,
there
sir.
was an afternoon window open between, I think, 2:30 and 4, where
Okay.
one could walk into Reserve Bank and get your questions resolved by experts officers. There were
Wow.
designated officers dealing with shares, dealing with immovable property, dealing with something else. I have
True.
gone there several times,
Okay.
maybe twice or thrice in a week, and
Wow.
most of the time, all my problems could be solved in one visit.
Wow.
Now they have stopped it for reasons they know.
Hmm.
So again, we see in a delegation, me, Rashmin Bhai and others went to meet the director of Reserve Bank,
Okay.
Mr. Uh, I'm now my memory is failing. I
No, no.
forget the name. Uh,
Right.
I'll come back to that.
Sure, sure,
So
sir.
he's a chartered accountant. Uh,
Okay.
uh, Billy partner, I forget his name.
Sorry.
Uh,
The-
SB Billy and company's partner.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I
I, yeah.
personally do not
No, no,
get your
it will
point.
come back. But
Sure, sure, sir.
he, being a chartered accountant, played the role of a director of Reserve Bank. He
Okay.
said, Dilip, no central bank in the world allows people to walk in.
Hmm.
Because we had gone to tell him, "Okay, please resume this visit because it is very helpful."
True.
Immediately, me and Rashmin Bhai said, "Okay, sir, no central bank around the world controls foreign exchange as Reserve Bank does it. And if you control, you have to allow me to."
Wow.
He
Wow.
understood our point and he said, "All right, I will arrange to see that you are allowed to go there with an appointment."
Right.
So we came out jubilant, we achieved, not
Yes.
realizing for appointment we have to phone them. And the operator will ask the officer that, are you in the seat or you have the choice of not being in the seat? That is
Wow.
what is happening.
Agreed, sir. In fact,
Yeah.
that brings me to one question, if you don't mind me asking.
Yes, please.
Sir, it is about involvement of they are the regulators. RBI is a regulator. RBI lays down the law. RBI
Correct.
lays down through regulations and
Correct.
notifications. Uh, but today we are seeing, and today meaning from the last few years, we are seeing that more and more thrust they are giving is to not deal with them directly, but
Yes.
deal with only through the AD banker, the
Correct.
authorized dealer bankers.
Correct.
Sir, what is your view on that? Is it a right way? Is it a correct way? Or is it something should be differently done?
It is like a father telling his son, go and find yourself. Reserve Bank is the father of FEMA. They
Correct.
cannot. I have seen letters from Reserve Bank asking for certain permission, saying, as per extant law, we cannot give you this permission. Period. Give
Wow.
me the reason. Let there be a
How can you
speaking
not?
order. How do you do
Correct.
this?
Yes.
And I have only day before yesterday got a letter from AD Bank, to
Okay.
whom we had reported that a resident had received a immovable property as a gift from a non-resident son. So she
Right.
had to report, "Okay, I'm holding this property."
True.
The bank gives in writing that this is a non-finance transaction, nothing to do with us. Go to Reserve Bank directly. Now, what do we do?
And
And
then RBI managers, sir, very recently also have come on record to say that no, you have to go through AD bank and only then
uh,
we will.
yeah,
So it's
no, but what Ritvik, what will happen? This letter we have forwarded to Reserve Bank. Within about 2-3 weeks, it will come back. They will call the AD Bank because it is on his letter. So how can you do this? But in the meantime, there is the delay.
delay.
Yeah,
Very. I think that is another point, sir, in practice of FEMA is where, when you go for approvals, you're never sure of how
yeah,
long it takes.
exactly.
You have to get an
People ask,
expect.
people ask us time frame, and we say with Reserve Bank we can't give you a time frame.
Very true. Right.
Yeah,
So coming to, you know, the role of RBI and the government, because as you correctly pointed out that today there is a division of power between
correct,
RBI and the government.
correct.
RBI is actually made to now probably only regulate the law.
Yeah,
It is
right,
actually, drafted by the government and
correct.
Emulated by the government.
Correct.
So do you feel that, what has been this role? Could you give some instances when you feel that, yes, this role, it is good, it is probably differently done? Any views if you'd like to
You
share?
see, in the past, we had that for certain matters, we had to go to central government.
True.
It did not succeed. They scrapped it.
Correct.
Again, DIP, they have brought it. But I think it is the time will show that RBI is competent enough to means to administer this law.
Very true.
They may get guidance from policy matters from government, but administration should be entirely left to Reserve
Yeah.
Bank.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
one thing.
Very true.
Yeah. Because this law, according to me, it has to be scrapped.
Okay.
That in the present world, many countries feel unhappy. They say, we understand your tax laws, but what is this exchange control? Rutik, believe me, I had to go to UK to give evidence in a court of law
Okay.
because the client took my opinion on FEMA, which was given to the judges. The judges were young enough not to know what exchange control in UK was. So they said, we don't understand FEMA is what is written, we can read. Can you not come here and give an evidence about the act? And I had to go and appear in the court there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, twice
Okay.
over.
Right.
So these are the, because many countries don't know what exchange control is because everything is free. See, Government of India feels that though we have such large foreign exchange reserve, there will be an exodus of currency out of the country. Initially, it will be because it's like a caged tiger. Once you open the doors of the jail, everybody will run away. But how long?
How long?
Ah,
And today, finally it is on the economy. The Indian
exactly,
economy.
exactly.
Today, in fact, there are more people who wanting to invest into India.
Because they know the returns here are much better than there.
Exactly.
So it will be a two-way traffic.
Very
For a
true.
while, they will have to bear the outgo. But
Very true.
that they can monitor it, you see.
Yes, yes, yes.
But
Very true, sir.
with that
I
fear,
take
you
the point.
can't.
But,
That fear, you can't keep controls forever. Yeah.
friends, I hope you appreciate this is somebody who has, who has managed to get the FEMA as a practice for chartered accountants today, telling us that FEMA itself should be scrapped, and therefore it's a very bold statement.
But Rutik, many of my friends say, Dilip, you will come back, you'll be on the street if this is scrapped. I say two things. I am at the fag end of my career and my life, but I'll start with my usual practice. You see, FEMA can be scrapped, but international taxation cannot be scrapped.
Cannot be.
That will
Correct.
live forever because it is there in every country.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that
In fact,
practice can continue.
true. So that in fact leads me into my next question that,
Yeah.
India is now the, one of the largest economies in the world. And it
Correct.
is, it is becoming larger and larger day by
Yeah.
day. It is totally globalized.
Correct.
You're seeing the world how it is. And in fact, just, days back with President Trump coming
Yeah.
into power, we are
Yeah.
seeing how globalization is getting impacted by just one person. It was just one
Exactly.
person, right?
True,
And so
true.
do you feel that in that kind of a scenario, should FEMA evolve? Should FEMA have something different? Or as you probably say that probably FEMA should be just taken out. Do you feel that is the way it should be going ahead?
Yeah, Rutik, I'll give you out of my own experience.
Sure, sir.
Earlier to 2014, I
Right.
was traveling for many years because the client wanted me to be there in the meeting. I was
Correct.
sitting in meetings where there are 2, 3 solicitors, 1 or 2 lawyers, chartered accountants, and a lone Indian sitting in a corner.
Right, sir.
People respected me, but not much could be done. But client felt happy. But
Correct.
believe me, after 2014, I
Okay.
see the difference. Now
Wow.
they come out of their way with an extended hand to welcome you. They
Wow.
respect you and they want to know much more about India. So you sort of become ambassadors of the country.
Wow.
So that, your talk with them can bring in more investment into the country.
True.
This is the difference I have found. And believe me, the respect I have got,
Wow.
extraordinary, which
Yes.
going to income tax office, I would never have got. And I never got it also. This is a subject which you can give money for value for money.
Yes.
Because you can give inputs which can help the business to grow.
Very true,
Yeah.
sir. Very true. No, that's very important to know that the
Yeah,
situation has changed and probably our laws need to be at pace with this kind of
exactly.
respect which India gets.
So now, because of President Trump's dictates, we are lowering our tariffs. Similarly, we should lower our laws also.
Yeah,
And eventually, over a period of very short time, FEMA should be eased out. You
very
see,
true.
a lot of liberalization can take place, like LRS should be made again liberal.
Mm,
Capital account transactions also selectively should be made free. Like
true.
that, lot of things to do away with going to AD or going to Reserve Bank.
Right.
There should be a monitoring system which is not difficult.
No,
Yeah,
no, correct,
yeah,
correct, correct.
yeah.
Yeah, only keep it as a monitoring and
Exactly.
not
Yeah,
as something
correct,
which you are
correct.
day to day of
Yeah,
fear of doing some transaction and then going.
exactly. Yeah. That fear should, because now, because of LRS, common man is using desire to invest abroad.
Very true.
Maybe small, big, whatever.
Correct, correct. Why should they
But
be?
yeah, but because of these controls, government has gone on record to say last year 8,000 high net worth individuals left the country.
That's
Now,
a sad thing.
8,000 is a very small number, but
No,
they
but
are
still.
the people who create wealth, who create jobs. This is all gone.
Very
This is
sad.
what
And following them, probably they will become, as you mentioned, that ambassadors of people who will
yeah,
vouch, let us
exactly.
all out. Unfortunately, in our practice, I'm sure you would have also had to perforce advise certain people that please, go abroad.
Yeah,
If you want to do this particular business, you
exactly.
will not be
To
able to
become
do
a
it.
non-resident. I'll
Yeah.
give you a recent example.
Okay, sir.
Last UK budget
Hmm.
has proposed that non-domiciled
Hmm.
category is being abolished from 6th of April 2025.
Correct.
It has made a lot of difference in lives of many.
Very true.
Recently, an article appeared in Economic Times
Okay.
showing the adverse effects of this non-domicile situation going. It's a very learned article. My
Okay.
partner has also contributed in it.
Sure.
In the recent meeting in Davos, where
All right.
the exchequer of UK,
True.
the lady was present and she was shown this article.
Oh,
This is I have heard from the horse's mouth, huh? And
wow.
she reacted, oh, if this is good, because it said it will create exodus of UK people going outside UK. He
Perfect.
said this requires us to rethink.
Wow.
This is what globalization is all about.
Very
Yeah,
true. Very true.
we
And I
can
feel
we
that
can
economy is,
influence people.
yes, yes, true, sir. Economy is run
Correct.
by its people. And if, say, the people are forced
Yeah,
to leave India just for a
correct,
particular law, I think probably then
correct.
there's some correction required. You're right,
Now
sir.
another small example:
Right.
20% TCS on LRS remittance. Government's idea is that then it was 5%, people didn't care. But
Mm.
this will bring them to file returns and all that. Good. But it has also led to the underhanding economy.
Yes.
People
Yes.
say now we will not send through bank, we'll do it otherwise. Why are you encouraging such things?
Very true.
Be happy with 5% or try and monitor ke bhai, how many people are going. Send them a notice. Ke where did you finance it?
Correct.
Why do you need TCS for that?
I think, sir, when we noted down, and in fact, as you correctly say, sir, from Bombay Chartered Accountants Society, we have represented on
Yeah,
this.
I know that. Yeah,
Right, sir. And we have listed down seven ways by which
yeah,
the government is getting information. So,
exactly.
this is more of just to discourage and
Well,
to go back from
yeah.
where you have been. I think it is unsettling people. And
No,
there
you
is,
see, the simplest solution to this is
yes,
because
sir.
they are targeting tour packages and those.
Correct.
They can tell travel agent that whoever is spending more than X amount of money, please send the details. We'll issue a notice.
Correct. Yes,
Why do you
yes.
need to do anything else?
Very
Yeah,
true. Correct, sir. I think that, there was always probably kind of a glass wall
yeah,
between taxation and FEMA. Except
exactly.
for the point where you have to remit money outside and therefore you have to prove tax has been deducted. I think
Correct.
there was a glass wall that, okay,
Correct.
you deal with the income tax, we will deal with the foreign exchange.
Exactly. Yes, that's
That
how it should
probably
be.
is now getting mixed
Yeah,
up and
yeah. It is
people are
very much
getting
mixed up. Yes, and it is hurting people that we are sending tax money. You see,
yes.
income can be taxed, but capital cannot be taxed like this.
Cannot be,
Yeah,
cannot be. All right,
yeah.
sir. And this is like double tax because
Double tax because it
yeah,
is hurting the liquidity.
You have already formed
Yeah,
your income. From your income, you're sending something
correct,
to
correct.
invest abroad. That
Yeah,
also will face another
exactly.
20%.
Yes.
Though it's a cash flow, a deferral, but still people feel it's a
Yeah,
tax.
but then in the interim, your investment is impacted.
You're
If
stuck. You're stuck.
money is gone for tax, so people won't invest.
Agreed,
Yeah,
sir. Very true, sir. No, it's a
yeah,
good point, sir. So,
yeah,
sir, then coming to this, as we talked about, India has become a kind of, soft superpower, as they call it, that
correct,
people are looking forward to
correct.
interact, people are bending towards, and that is where probably RBI is also trying to internationalize the rupee. The
Yeah,
government and the RBI are trying
correct.
all their, force to internationalize the rupee, make it acceptable as a trading currency,
Yes,
much wider than what it is today.
correct.
Do you feel that the way that it is being handled, the way, or is it the right time? What are your views on that, sir?
So you see, a small beginning has been made. With
Right.
certain countries, we can send our invoices in rupees, which is a
Oh,
very good step. And
correct.
uh, people are happy because it doesn't affect rate of exchange or bank
True.
charges and all. I think
True.
it's a good beginning. It should be taken forward
Okay, sir.
because people are now fed up with the dominance of dollar. Of course,
Yeah.
euro is a challenge to them, but
Yes.
rupee should also be a challenge to them.
Correct.
And rupee has that capability of becoming a part of international currency.
I
So
agree.
that's a good move. It will give a lot of respect to the currency.
Wow.
Yeah,
Noted, sir.
yeah,
In fact, I think believe the South African countries, the
yeah,
countries in our neighboring
correct.
countries are
They are
all
all
they're all liking to use.
accepting it. Yes,
Yes,
true, true.
yes. Very true, sir. Sir, we have over here, I have got this. This is volume one of FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management
Yeah,
Manual. And from the days, as you mentioned, the black book to today, where we
yeah,
have this not just online, but
correct.
printed sets we are getting.
Yes, exactly.
For young professionals, this becomes overwhelming. We can
Too
see
much.
because of the
Correct,
size. Sir,
correct.
what would be your advice? How should and why should they take up this as a practice? And I think you've kind of given us your whole life and career has been an experience as an, or probably as an proof of concept is already there.
Yeah,
But how should they deal with it? If you can give us some guidance.
yeah. Rutik, I have faced this question from many young
Okay.
professionals.
Right, sir.
Uh, when I show them the barrack, it's a very small, thick, thin book. It doesn't say anything. So
Yes.
they say, where do we start? You see,
Very
earlier we had this uh, master circulars every 1st of July.
true.
On a subject, if you see it on 1st of July, you don't have to go back because it was a compact circular.
Oh,
It was a very good move. Then
yes.
it turned into master directions and the frequency changed. So that is gone.
True.
Now, if we show this book which you have shown to a
Yeah.
young professional, he gets scared. Okay, when
Very.
will I understand and read this? And
Yes.
again, a new trend has started.
Okay.
Earlier, any circular of Reserve Bank on a subject was self-containing everything. Now,
Ah,
take for example the latest LRS circular. It says refer to ODI regulation, OPI regulation. Well,
correct.
what is all this? You see, earlier master directions would at the end list out okay, all these circulars are here. So you
Very true.
don't have to go anywhere. So
Yes.
I advise them that you start with uh, master directions and master circulars
Okay.
and regularly look to RBI circulars and notifications. But
Okay.
above all,
Right.
attend FEMA study circle and FEMA conferences because there is
Yes.
a lot to learn because so many brains come there to tell you. Okay?
Very true, sir. Very
Yeah.
true.
So
I
this
think
is
I
the
should at least mention here for the benefit of young professionals that Bombay Chartered Accountants Society also annually holds this FEMA
yeah,
course,
yeah,
long
yeah,
duration course, which I
correct.
think so, sir, is what you're referring
Yeah,
to is, and today there are several institutions which are doing it, including our Institute of Chartered
correct.
Accountants. So I think that's something which professionals should take benefit of.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, there is not one single line that, okay,
yeah.
fine, you store, but I
No,
think
no.
you're right, sir. Out of practice, out of,
Yeah,
probably attention to what
mm,
discussions are going on, what
correct.
people are saying. I think that will help. You're right,
And
sir.
the biggest example is FEMA study circle, where
Yes.
you start from the beginning. And another is our DTAA course, which is
Okay.
a
Right.
subject by itself.
Yes.
Many professors are ignorant about what DTAA is.
Wow.
This is the best way to learn. And you
Yes.
see, the way our faculty teaches them, it creates a
Mm,
lot of interest. People
correct.
then are tempted to go through the agreements and how different they are and all that
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's a challenging law by itself.
Very true,
Yeah,
very true, sir.
yeah,
No, no, correct. Sir, finally, let us say crystal ball gazing with your whole vast experience, where do you feel that, what should be the future? What are the key reforms? I believe you have mentioned in passing
yeah,
already, but what would you feel will make, they call it, that India as the next, economic superpower? What would be that kind of reform
correct.
you feel
You
should?
see, I'll put it in two ways. One, a little advice to our young professionals.
Sure, sir.
Many are complaining that with uh, 143.1 and on this faceless
Correct.
hearings, their practice has dwindled and they're looking for work. I
Yes.
said this is going to go down much more in the present context. So why
Very.
not develop another skill? And
Mhm.
for the present, FEMA is another skill. It
Correct.
may go away, but
Mhm.
international taxation will remain forever.
Yes, yes.
That is the practice because other countries do not have exchange control, have international taxation.
Definitely, it
And
will always
yeah,
remain.
yeah. And with OECD and all, we are looking to equal uh, laws overseas and taxation laws of different countries. That is one.
Sir,
Coming
right.
to our economy,
Yes, sir.
I think eventually FEMA has to go.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't see any harm to the economy.
Okay.
Initially, there will be any
Yes.
reform will have. Yeah,
Yes.
but we have to look to long term. You see,
Sure.
it is said that a politician is one who looks to the next election, while a statesman is one who looks to the next generation.
Wow.
We
That's
have to be statesmen. We
yes.
have to look to next generation.
Very true.
Today, I had a meeting with a young chartered accountant.
Okay.
He has a client, father, no, father, son, and daughter. Son and daughter both IIT trained. They want to do something to make world a better place to live.
Nice.
Profit is not their motive.
Wow.
And because of FEMA, they had come to take my opinion. Initially, I said, why are you here? This doesn't concern me. But when it came to this, I got interested. And I said, we professionals must support this type of initiative. People who
Sure.
care for the generation to come.
Wow. Very true.
Rutvik, I have got clients who come to me say, sir, we have spent our life here, but we
Yes.
do not want my children and grandchildren to suffer the same consequences. And at the height of it, they mentioned ED.
Oh,
ED is a threatening situation in lives of many. So
right.
the vision to make this economy a 3 trillion economy or 5 trillion economy, exchange control has to go. Financial reforms is
Mm.
the best part of the achieving what we are looking at. And
True,
if we
sir.
are looking at the next generation,
Correct.
in
So we
fact,
need to.
we each one of us seen at least three generations. I have clients, I'm dealing with the third generation now. So one must look to future three generations.
Yes, right,
That
sir.
is,
So
yeah,
then, sir, if you don't mind, I would like to end the conversation with one prediction from you, sir. When
yeah.
do you see the foreign exchange regulations going out of India and therefore starting the new reforms for India?
Rutvik, frankly,
Yes, sir.
I'm praying that it should be during my lifetime. Because as you know, I have reached a lot down the road.
Yes.
I am 89. So
Wow.
I am hoping.
Yes.
But you see, hope is the best medicine for a human being.
True.
If it doesn't happen, if it happens in the next generation also, that's fine because we would have the feeling that we started the ball rolling.
Right.
Unless somebody takes the initiative to
Yes.
emphatically say on public platform, I've said several times so, every time.
I've been
Yeah,
witness to that,
yeah.
sir. Yes.
Because you see, I know that nothing is going to happen, but
Yeah.
someday it will gather moss. So this
No,
is
I'm
what
sure.
I feel.
Yeah, the right corridors of power
Yeah,
are listening to words of wisdom
correct.
from you, sir. So I'm very sure that things will change for the
And
better.
I have a feeling that the present powers that are, they are
Yes.
ready to listen to people and they
True.
are ready to do good for the country. So
True.
maybe in very near future, as the
Yes.
one deputy governor has gone on press to say to the bank that be prepared for full convertibility. I was so thrilled that day. My God, dream is coming true.
True, sir.
It will happen.
No, no, I
Yes.
think we should hope for the best, as you
Yeah.
correctly said, sir. And I am very sure that we will soon again bother you with a conversation of a new India, of India which is free of foreign exchange.
You
So,
think
just,
it is not botheration, you'll be doing me a favor.
Arey, sir.
Yeah. Because you see, BCA, believe me, this is my small contribution to my debt to the BCA.
Sir,
BCA has really changed my professional life.
thank
Yeah.
you, sir. I'm sure all
Believe
the
me,
youngsters
it
listening
it
to
is
this will be,
because without this platform, we could not have done anything.
true,
The
sir.
course that I was remembering was orientation courses, which me and Rashmi initiated. Yeah,
Very true, sir.
yeah,
And we have moved from there to discussing in depth to having both all types of various
correct,
courses
correct.
from orientation
Yeah,
to advanced, to
exactly,
go into case studies, to have it at a separate, case study paper on
correct.
these concepts.
And
I'm
the
sure.
result is many young chartered accountants are trained already. They are
Yes.
practicing. Where did they learn? When I passed CA exam,
Right,
this
sir.
was not in my course at all. There was not a single question on
Fine.
this. So it is all like goodwill self-generated.
Correct.
Yeah,
No, sir. I think with this, I would like to thank you so much, sir, for sharing your wisdom with all of us today. I think your experiences will encourage more and more, practitioners and professionals, students, all of them. They will be encouraged to look at FEMA with a different light, look at how and it has evolved, and let's hope for a future where we are such liberal reforms that we can then
correct.
focus on something even more constructive, even more value added.
One
So.
thing I remember
Yes,
now, which I forgot,
sure,
the
sir.
name of that CA director of Reserve Bank,
Yes, yes.
yes, Yazni Malegam.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Yes, yes. Why Malegam, sir?
yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Right, sir. Yes, yes.
Brilliant person,
Yes,
very nice to
true,
us.
true. Sir, I think these are the people who, people like Mr. Malegam, people
Yeah,
like yourself are the ones who have been bold enough to state and go against the flow. And
yeah,
and today we are in the, probably in the government also we have such bold decisions being
correct.
taken. So I think the
Yeah,
meeting of minds
it
will
is.
happen
It will
sooner
happen.
than
Yes, I am very hopeful.
true, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Okay,
you so much for your conversation.
thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. Yeah.
Bye.